That when you get to a, I'm gonna write these down. When you get to a hackathon, right? They want you to. This is shit. They want you to deploy your web application, your code online, so you can just link to it and they can get to it. Usually they'll say you should deploy it through Amazon Web Services because they're our sponsor. At least if you go to an MLH one, and that's complicated as hell. That gave us some problems when we first started out. Especially difficult when you have no idea how to deploy anything, or what deployment even means, or how to if you like the basic skills of deploying a website. It's fine. I make it sound like it's some nuanced skill, but really it's very simple. It's a few commands here and there, building blah 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 blah. Fuck it. So here we go. So first things. This is. Oh my gosh. All right. First things first. We're gonna deploy to Firebase. And we're also going to deploy to Heroku. Quick show of hands, who knows what Firebase is?
Vaguely.
Alright, so Firebase is part of the Google Cloud platform. In terms of hosting, I think it's the best between, at least it's the best in terms of simplification. So you don't have to set up your server immediately. You can deploy a web application and then add server integrate, add their Firebase server integration later. It's simple in that they have a tool and a CLI that you can use to deploy your websites. It's like 4 commands, you get it up there. Setting up DNS is also really easy because they have their own domains.google.com and they have their own ownership verification through the Google platform, so it's very, very simple. With Heroku, it's a little bit more difficult, and I'm not going to be covering it today because that'd take way too much time. I'm also not covering DNS today. It's very simple. Just look it up how to set up domains for your Firebase application.
So you use Firebase for hosting?
Yeah, you can use. They have 3 plans. I can bring it up right now. They have 3 plans.
I've never used their database stuff.
Yeah, you can use their database if you want. They have a few plans here. It is free. They have a free plan that you can use. That's mostly just to get engineers familiar with Firebase and how to use it and stuff. We'll just go to the high scores project here. Right now, we'll go to modify so you can show you the plans. So they have 3 plans. You have the Spark, the Flame, and the Blaze. Now, this is a fixed $25 per month. This is usually because you have regular traffic that would cost way too much to do a pay-as-you-go, but you don't want the speeds of a free plan. Now, I'm going to be very, very blatant here. Free is slow as shit. You can't have more than 5 people browsing your website at a time without there being some kind of lag. It's very low priority for Google servers. It'll still run. It's just it's on the low chopping block. While Blaze and Flame are higher priority. If you do the pay-as-you-go, which I highly suggest, you do the pay-as-you-go, because when you sign up for the Google Cloud platform, they give you a free trial, which is a year subscription and 300 credits. So it'll just take money out of that credit that they initially gave you.
Is our website running?
After a year, though, they remove your credits and they remove your yearly subscription. You would have to pay, so you can switch between them easily. I can do it right now. Just go. Oh, I forgot. Okay, so I have the database stuff hooked up. Yeah, I have the database shit hooked up. I can't, but I mean I can, and it just wouldn't work. But I kind of want it to work, so I'm not gonna do that. But just in an imaginary world, I'll show you how to do it whenever we start doing our projects and stuff. Okay, so first off, let's get this started. I'm gonna minimize this. Here's Visual Studio Code for the uninitiated. Let's go to our terminal. Who knows what a terminal is? I'm sure all of y'all know what a terminal is. A console, if you would. We'll go ahead and clear this. I was running some tests. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're at the desktop right. We'll do the host. We'll go to desktop because that's where I like to store all my projects, as you can tell. I'm unorganized. We're going to make a directory. We'll call it project. All right, from here, look at all that shit. We're going to cd into project. Now, from here, there's nothing in this folder. Ls, you see there's nothing, right? Let's go to the Firebase console. All right, who's keeping up? Alan, are you keeping up?
Yeah.
He's the only one with.
Yeah, just crazy.
If I'm moving too fast, I can slow it down.
Yeah.
So I want to start off at the right pace.
Should I go to Firebase?
I'm all Windows right now.
It's rough.
Okay, so we're gonna start. We've already started. We got our little thing made, wherever the fuck it is. I guess maybe it's in the top corner over here. Usually it likes to make this shit. LS. Yeah, it's. I did not CD to desktop and make it. That's the problem. Let's make directory projects. Alright, cool. CD projects, whatever. Look at that. Now you see it's there. Alright, so what we're first going to do is that you don't need Node to deploy a website to Firebase.
Yeah.
You do not need it. You can. It's great to do it, especially like most frameworks will deploy through Node because you'll have to install the Firebase packages that are used for Firebase deployment on that framework. Like I know Angular, you need if you're going to use their services, you need to install Firebase and you need to install Angular Fire 2 to run any Firebase commands through them to get lists, observables, all that bullshit. So now we're here, right? We're here. We're going to go ahead and go backwards a little bit because we don't need to go. Thank you, Google. You're such a huge fan of mine. All right, let it load up for a bit. All right, we're going to add a project. Now, you don't need to do anything more than just, we'll call this test project. Let it create. We'll wait a little bit. And we're done. That's all you have to do for this. We're going to minimize this because we don't need this anymore. Alright, so if you don't already have the Firebase tools installed, we're going to go... Oh, I never get that. I clicked the wrong one. Alright, we're going to go and install Firebase tools. Usually it's just like an npm command. If you have Node on there, you just do npm install Firebase-tools. I'll just go ahead and see here so y'all can see in case I'm full of shit. Yeah, that's your command for Mac and for Ubuntu. If you have Node in your Windows machine as well, if you set that up, which that's a trial unto itself, to install and use Node commands on a Windows terminal. But yeah, so if you don't, Alan, are you doing it?
I didn't install npm. I need to install that real quick.
You haven't installed Node yet?
Yeah. I need to install that real quick. Right?
Alright, that's fine. Do you want to wait for Alan? Alan,
No,
you
you don't have to wait.
I'll wait if you want me to wait.
No, you don't have to
I'll
wait
waste
on me.
everybody's time. Just
No,
wait.
you don't have to wait on me, bro.
As well?
You need Node installed globally. Yes. Not in the project itself, but in order to use the Firebase tools, you need to install it through the Node package manager.
Do you know if that's the same command for Windows? You said it's not.
If you have the Node package manager, it's the same
I
command
do.
because it pulls from those packages. There's no
Oh, it's right
specific
there.
like
It says
exe
Node
to run or installer to run for Firebase on Windows. You just install Node on Windows, set up npm, which is usually like setting up your environmental variables, and then installing it globally. Same commands.
I think I'm done.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Alan, install that. Install npm and install Firebase tools, whatever. Just get that ready. Are you writing this shit down?
Yeah.
Jesse's taking notes, and he's been a video. I mean, that's going to be a very long video, a very big video on that. All right, so if you have it already installed, we're going to go ahead and do. I have it installed here.
You don't have to stop. You can take notes.
-v.
You can take notes.
I accidentally hit space all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Firebase dash version 3.7.4. I have the latest Firebase installation on here.
Am I still running that?
So what?
Am I still installing?
Just let it install. It's
so
fine.
slow. Damn.
Well, it's a lot of shit. And
Jesus.
next time I'll put in the Discord what you need to have installed for the next demo. Okay.
Alright.
All right. Next time, not this time. All right. So Firebase tools allows you to use the Firebase command. So we're gonna go ahead and we're in our project. There's nothing in here, right? We're gonna do Firebase init. And that's just initializing a Firebase.json. Now here, yeah, I know, right? Sick fire. Nature's fucking lit. So here, I know it's a little misleading, but you use the space bar to select, and you press enter, and it's like, oh, hey, look at all this. And this is all the projects I have in my
How'd
on
you
my
link
Firebase.
it to your account?
No, I'm sorry. I should have run that through again. Let's go ahead and exit out of that. So you have Firebase installed, right? Go ahead and do Firebase login. Mine's already logged in here. All you gotta do is issue the command Firebase login, and it'll open up your browser window. We'll go ahead and do it right now. Firebase log out. It'll take a second. Probably should have walked you through it again. I'm gonna end up doing this demo again March 7th for IEEE. So testing dummies. I'm kidding, y'all aren't dummies. Hamsters are best. I'm kidding, you're fine. Firebase login. Alright, so it's gonna throw this at you. You want to use it to track analytics. You don't have to say yes, you don't have to say no. I say yes because I don't really give a shit about any of them. I'm kidding. Alright, so it takes you to your browser. It says, hey, do you want to allow this to look at that? It'll ask you that every single time. Firebase, CLI, login successful. Look at that, logged in. Alright, so now we're going to go, oh wait, hold on. Is everybody logged in Firebase?
Right now, I'm just trying to install the Ubuntu VM because I'm on Windows. So. But I'm
Jeremiah, what are you doing?
I'm logging into Firebase, but it just brought me to a website, like Google website login.
No, you got logged
Yeah,
into your
sign
Google
in.
account.
Sign to your Google account. I have mine attached. Like I have several accounts and they're all saved. So I don't have to like retype in everything or keep a reminder of what my username is.
You also might need to go to the actual cloud platform first and claim the credit.
We'll do free for now.
Okay,
And
yeah,
if
yeah.
you
If
want to
it's,
upgrade to the pay-as-you-go,
yeah,
you can go ahead and
right.
sign up for that and sign up for the Google Cloud Platform, get your trial. You don't actually, like it doesn't matter,
Fuck, dude.
like it doesn't ruin your trial status if you have your Firebase deployed already, because I got mine after the fact. Good? Everybody good? Whatever, we're moving on. So, Firebase init. You need to set up hosting. Alright, so I was going to ask you for what to hook it up to. We set up the test project earlier, so here's that. Alright, do you want to set it up into your public directory? Usually, frameworks will deploy things into a dist folder, which is mostly just all your stuff compacted and bundled together. Nice and neat. Angular compiles things in JavaScript, so you'll have a bunch of JavaScript bundles as well as assets and things like that. We're going to go ahead and use the dist folder. We'll rename it. Yes. So let's go ahead and open our project in VS Code. React 10 projects. Open.
So can I use any text editor or do I?
Yeah,
have
you
to
can use
use-
any. It doesn't matter. So right here you see all this. It already. If you click yes to that, it will override your index.html. So if you already built your dist folder, be sure to say no on that second line, so it doesn't override your index.html, or you'll have to just like issue a build
so this
command
one
again.
is by the default.
It is a default, yeah. So we have this here, right? We've already set it up. The basic site. I don't like writing HTML templates, so like I'll write it once and I'm done. So we'll go ahead and do Firebase deploy, which is a command to send this and upload it to your Firebase project. And if we go here, you can see that this is Firebase hosting setup complete. This is all the index.html stuff that you saw earlier.
Did you hook this with your GitHub or?
No, I didn't do anything. Again, like all the steps I just showed you, that is literally all you have to do. Like I'm very literal in this. Now Heroku, there will be a little bit of setup that we're gonna have to do, but for right now, if you want a quick deployment of your site, then that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So let's go to the project real quick through here, and I'll show you some stuff real quick before we deploy our first Angular app. If you don't have Angular set up already, so here's hosting, right? You want to set up your DNS stuff. You can go here to connect domain. It'll tell you your domain. You'll verify ownership. You'll go live. I don't really want to do that because I don't want to buy a domain. But here's our file, right? Here's that one file that we uploaded. We can always roll back to a different version or an early version that maybe like had a feature that we wanted, or like the latest deployment doesn't work, so we got to roll back and deploy a new one. But that is our index.html right there. You can also, what I like about this is that all of your website needs are all here. So you have your storage, so you can store assets here that you can link through Firebase tools. You have your database here that you can get started, set rules here where like only if they're authorized can they read and write to the database, and a bunch of other stuff. You can add more rules to this. And you can just like set up it's like JSON like, so you add some add a value, your subs not dubs, blah blah blah. Cancel. Doesn't matter. Now we're going to deploy our first Angular application. Alan, you leaving?
Yeah, I need to go to make campus very quick.
All right, bye, Alan.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so we no longer need this. I'll clean up later. So we're gonna CD out of it. All right, so who has Angular installed already?
At home.
Yeah. Do you want to deploy an Angular site real quick, or do you want to?
I don't have it on this PC.
Do you want to just run it?
Yeah.
All right, so we're just gonna run it. All right, so normally you do npm install -g at angular -cli, and that would install Angular CLI to allow you to use the commands I'm about to use. ng new, we'll call it temp ass. That's gonna take a little bit. So what we're now gonna do is, while that's installing, we're gonna go to we're gonna go ahead and go to the console and set up a new project. Let that load. All right, so we're gonna add a project here. See our test project there was earlier. It's the same basic workflow. Create a project. The best thing about Angular is that it has libraries and modules already ready to go to integrate Firebase into Angular applications. This is just to show you that you can upload and deploy more complex things rather than just an index.html. Cool. All right, so that is still going. Are you done? Are you done? No, it's still going. Alright, so again, the same thing can be said over here with the hosting and database on. It's still going, preparing. Project TemptAss, consider successfully created. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go to that. We're going to CD into it. We already have the Firebase tools set up, so we're just going to do this again. Well, hold on. Do ng serve -open. Just to really get it going. Now, when you do create a new Angular project, all the modules are already installed. If you do add more modules, you do have to, run npm install again because you have to add it to your package JSON. It generates a package lock.json, which locks in all the dependencies for that distribution. But here's our basic local host here. You can see that it works. The basic HTML app is all starter code. We don't need this right now. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and close this. We don't need it, and we're gonna do we'll do npm build. Oh, well, it doesn't have any. Oh, I'm sorry. Npm run build. Totally forgot to use the run. It'll execute command ng build --prod. You can either do that by hand or you can just do npm run build. Either or is just fine. We just got to build that distributable file for Firebase. Trying to get this done as fast as possible because we got Heroku to deal with, and that is a bit of a pain. Just a little bit. That's gonna take Heroku takes a little more configuration, but it is easier overall. The hard part's in the front, and not the back. So okay, so we have this dist file set up. We're gonna go ahead and open it in Visual Studio Code. Just get y'all to look at it real quick. So here we have our icon that we saw earlier. All the JavaScript code, it's usually in one line, except for this one, which is multiple lines. Here's our style CSS. We didn't apply anything because we don't have anything. So the source, here's all of our app. There's nothing here except our app component HTML, which says welcome to Angular, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now we got the dist file going. We're going to go ahead and do Firebase. We already have the Firebase tools installed from earlier. We do not need to do it again. So Firebase init. And we're going to do hosting one more time. We're going to go ahead and use temp as. So earlier we said we'd use the dist folder because frameworks usually build their production versions in a dist folder. So we'll go ahead and name this one dist. If you're, this is showing you that you can either do it from the console and then build it later, which your framework will usually override it, or you can set it up after the fact and just connect it. We do not. All right, blah, 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 already exists. Oh, well, I think I did that wrong. We're going to go out of that. I did that a little differently. Dist, yes, and that one's a no. So we go ahead and do Firebase, deploy. The third option was no. The reason why in the last one it didn't show that option was because we didn't have anything in that folder. So look at that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go to here. And you can see that now our Firebase is deployed via tempass.firebase app.com, which is just our project name. Here we can edit it. We'll go ahead and edit it real quick. Let's go to temp and we'll say welcome to Devin's house. Whatever, doesn't matter. Let's build it again. ng build. Well, that's just the title, isn't it? Nah, it's h1. Who cares? ng build -- prod. So that you can use it. Use that command or npm run build. Doesn't matter because we set up the commands. Angular will set up the commands for you. Usually. From here, you don't actually have to set up, you don't have to use Firebase init anymore because you already put the settings in for hosting. If you do add a database, you're going to have to initialize it again and then use the option for databases to connect that. Firebase deploy. Cool. And then we reload it. Welcome to Devin's house. Now, if we go back to the, if you go back here, you see there are two versions, right? We'll go ahead and do a rollback and then come back here. See, you can easily roll back to earlier versions. I'll delete this later. So now comes the hard part. We're going to deploy this on Heroku. For those who don't know what Heroku is, it allows for free web hosting. If you don't have it also, like, it's like a Git. It's like you can set versions to it as well. You can't direct link it unless, well, you can't direct link it like on your resume and have people go to it because it's all set to your account. But you can hook it up to your GitHub and have it deploy through, like, you'll push the master branch to GitHub and GitHub will push that to Heroku, or well, Heroku will request it, GitHub will receive it, and then phrasing. So right now I have a thing set up here, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. So we have this this app set up, right? Well, let's go ahead and go to Heroku. We're gonna go ahead and do npm install Heroku. I think it was like -- save Heroku. Can't remember because I have it installed globally, but I don't remember if I have it on here. This, close that, close that, close that. I totally forgot half the shit I'm doing. Nope. Yeah, I know, I'm using this stupid thing. Doesn't really matter. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and set up a github.com so we can set this up. There's a way to just push things to, we'll call this temp ass. We'll make it private because people look at the GitHub. I need that. Alright, private. We'll set this up and I'll show you in a second what I'm going to be doing. So git init, git add dot, git commit. So that's nice. Commit. First git push -u origin master. Oh wait, I don't even have I don't have it set up. My bad. Go ahead and copy that. I don't really want to type that all the way out. Alright, now git push -u origin master. Cool. We'll refresh it to make sure the files are there. Cool. Alright, so now what we're going to do is Roku create. I'm going to set up a project for us real quick. Now it's very important that you do this in the root where the package.json is, because we're going to be adding something to it real quick. I fucking forgot. It's a engines tag that I have not added to this project, and I don't really feel like typing it out and getting it wrong instead of trying to set it up for 30 hours. Doesn't matter. So blah 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 blah. Where did it go? It should be in engines. As you can tell, I did not prepare because I am a piece of shit, and that is my me. So we're gonna go back to Roku. So Shrine of Ravine, usually like it'll set you up this little thing, where it'll set this little thing up to where this will be your thing. We'll go ahead and connect it to my GitHub, because why not? And then we'll set it up to temp as search connect. Now there's going to be an issue here. It's a thing called build packs. So we'll go ahead and deploy the branch, and you'll see it in a second. It shouldn't work unless it does work, which in that case, woo. Yeah. So it'll essentially run all your stuff like it's building a dev version, which is good and bad at some points. This shouldn't work. So let's go ahead and go to this. See, it's not. Oh, sorry. This is not it at all. So see, application error. This isn't working because there's a series of steps you have to do to get it. I know I didn't follow it because reasons. So we already did this. This is basically what they did for Heroku Create, but we did it elsewhere. We connect to our GitHub for automatic deployments. Now we got to configure it, right? So we already did all this crap, but let's go ahead and do it again. CLI, compiler CLI. Great. Blah. Scripts here. If you're doing it to Express server, you'll have to add an engines tag up here, which will just be like engines. Doesn't really work here because they're not expecting it, and that's not a real tag for Angular. That's fine. Great, cool stuff. I forgot what I was doing. All right, so in scripts, which is just up here. Go ahead and save that. Oh, look at that, engines. Great, that's exactly what I want to do for my day. Well, I lied to you, obviously. I've never actually deployed an Angular application to Heroku. Mostly just like the last thing I deployed was a React thing, and that was using Express, not like Angular stuff. But whatever. I'll be sure to remember that for the next thing. Copy TypeScript from dev dependencies into. Here, doesn't matter where. My incredible copy and paste skills, right? So what we're going to be doing in Express is just setting up the basic routes. I'll explain things in a second about your ports and shit. But at the root of the application, we'll go ahead and file server.js. We'll cover that in there. So what this is that it's asking, it's going to essentially ask Express for a, this is your root. But here it's asking for whatever available port is there, or 8,000. So usually Heroku's going to assign it a port to go to, or it'll just use the 8,000 port. It's catching all my errors, huh, Jesse? It's fine. Doesn't matter. I should have used thing, but whatever. Use your start command. That's what it's supposed to look like. Alright, so cool. So now that everything is saved, go ahead and do file, save all, git add dot git commit dash m. I don't know if I can.
Just call it Heroku.
Cool. Git push dash u origin. Doesn't really matter 'cause I'm just gonna delete it later. Okay, we're gonna go back in case it's not deployed. But alright, go back to Heroku, see if it. We'll go ahead and deploy the branch. I have reached my build limit. Whoops. Yeah, sorry. Alright. My build limit. You're messy. Alright, you don't tell me you should. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this. So I've reached my build limit. That's always fun. I guess I'll remember that for the next time. Okay, cool. What the fuck does that mean? Grand. So I'm gonna have to remember that for this fucking Heroku deployment. Alright, well, damn. Oh, I'll fix that later in the March 7th presentation. But for
So
now,
it should be like the same app.
it should be the same. I don't know what's going on with my account on Heroku. I'm new to Heroku. Obviously, I'm so arrogant that I thought I could show other people how to use something I don't even know how to use. It doesn't matter. I'll remember that for the next presentation. If you do go, it's March 7th, B185. Is it? Or is it at the Union now?
Just at the Union.
No,
The
well, it's
same
at the
room,
Union
like
now.
way out in the corner.
It's 384, right? In the
Something
Union?
like that.
381, 384? It's
It's
under the stairs.
upstairs.
Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and show that. I'll figure this out later. I don't want to take up any more of your time. But if you do go to a hackathon like HackUTD, who's all going to HackUTD, and they're going to ask you to deploy because they'll give you a free domain on domains.com. Just remember that through Firebase, the easy tools you can use is Firebase init, set your distribution folder for whatever framework you're using to build that distribution folder. It doesn't really fucking matter. And you can deploy it via Firebase instead of like I understand why they want to like make you use Amazon because that's their sponsor and they want you to deploy on Amazon, but deploying on Amazon's has a sharp learning curve, while all the extra shit you need to know is online for Firebase, and they're really even their documentation, like their normal Google Firebase documentation will walk you through the commands. And it's really solid. Like this is, you don't need to install anything else, it's this verbatim. This is just like telling you what's in the file, you don't actually have to look at it. But these are like the 3 commands you need to use, as opposed to Heroku where we had to add a bunch of code and shit. But Heroku's for continuous integration that I haven't gotten down.
So like for a hackathon, you wouldn't need continuous integration.
You would
Just
just
like a
you
one-time.
just need to every time all you would have to do at the hackathon is that whenever someone pushed something new and it worked and verify that it works, you could just run like git pull it and then just
Deploy.
build it and deploy on your own, or they can build and deploy on their own and then you could pull it for your update. It's completely separate from the GitHub that y'all are using, or GitLab, or whatever the fuck y'all are using for
Google
our
Docs.
revision system.
Google Docs, yeah. We just all have a shared folder. It's really great.
It's fine.
I've been coding in Excel, you know?
Yeah.
Jason can work magic in Excel. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm always surprised, and I always will be surprised at what you can do in Excel. But yeah, that's how you're gonna get your first website up. If you're looking to do a personal website, just remember to do the free plan, because like recruiters, you might have like 1 or 2 people browsing your website a day for recruiters. Or do the pay-as-you-go, which you can go through the Google Cloud platform. This docs. Sorry, it should be cloud dot nowhere. It's fine. I don't care. Show my billing information. Right here. Ooh yeah. Ooh girl. Ooh girl. They took out 1 penny. They took out 1 penny. For all the people that are browsing UNT high scores, that's 1 fucking penny.
Popular.
Yeah, real popular. It's probably because of some of the crap I did over here, which that should not be there, but I did anyways. I'm transferring, I'm uploading in a lot of data. Well, not a lot of data, but when you upload it, it also costs you to deploy. This is after 4 months of deploying shit. Like, I delete a lot of my rollbacks, but I had like 30 different versions I kept deploying, and I wish I could see the Hack UNT one. Actually, you guys want to see the Hack UNT one?
Oh yeah.
Because why not? I don't know if I have to log in or not. What? You sack of turds. Whatever. I don't care. I don't have permission? I probably have to log in again, and I'm not going to show you the passwords page that we have for this crap. Darn. But yeah, let's go ahead and do some cleanup. But that's about it for my stuff here. I know a lot of the times this crap can be a little daunting or scary or whatever, and they don't exactly teach this shit here at UNT. But know that there's always an easy solution to your difficult problems, and deploying to a website is not that hard anymore. Like there's no you can just upload to Google servers, and like the load of your website is so low that it's negligible to them compared to how much they have. Let's go ahead and do some more cleanup and see what else I got. Then I go to my repository. What other repositories do I got?
So pretty much we can just look at the document.